Welcome back, guys. Joe again here from Third World Aquatics, and here we go, part 9 of the Ornamental Pond build-out. Got a slight problem. Okay, so the rains have not stopped for 5 days. You can see it got the liner kind of clipped up there in the front because the wind kept blowing it over. Man, look what's going on here. This thing is already, I'd say we're right about here on the glass line. So we're already putting a little bit of pressure on it. I mean, that's always been kind of one of my fears. I'm really hoping I'm not screwing this up. And that when we do fill this thing up to right about here, that we don't get too much deflection on the glass. I mean, that is obviously to be determined. We're probably really going to find out that one in a couple more weeks. But look at this, man. The rain is non-stop. Right now we're waiting for the sealant to show up. It's on back order. Going to be arriving on October the 4th. And then finally we can put the sealant on around this perimeter. And hopefully that's what happens in this video. So, man, we're going to have to pull out the pump and a hose and drain this thing down. We've got a little bit more shaping to do. I got to get the skimmer box in position coming up. And I'm going to need to shape out this area over here, the sidewalls. And now I'm really thinking about going just a tad deeper. So we're going to get into this as soon as the rain stops. Holy crap. This is crazy. All right, let's roll. All right, so the rains have stopped and now we can finally jump back on the pond. Believe it or not, we got hit again last night because I was looking back at the previous video. These rocks right here were more exposed and now they're underwater. So we've easily got another 2-3 inches of water during the night. So that being said, let's go ahead and break out the hose, the pump, and drain this bad boy down so we can get up underneath this thing and get back to work. All right, guys, it's the next day. It's a little bit windy today, but hey, we got it drained. Look at that. That was a lot of water. I can't believe how much we got it. So now the next step is remove all the rocks, the clips, pull the liner back, let the soil start to dry out because I have to do a little bit more shaping and kind of prep the left side over here where the rocks are at, a little bit more over here where the skimmer box is going because I know a lot of that eroded away, which you're going to see here probably in a few seconds. And then kind of shape out the bottom of that thing before we pull the liner back and glue it to the glass. All right, as you can tell, I'm physically inside the pond now. So what I did was I put a piece of plywood right there. We kind of beefed up this area, kind of compacted it down with dirt and some water, kind of like you see over here. I got the piece of plywood up against the wall and I've got some boards kind of pushing on it. Pretty much what we did was just kind of filled the hole and compacted with a 2x4, threw some water in, kept on pushing and tamping it down and making it nice and tight so that when we do pull out the board, it kind of looks like this, nice and flat. That's obviously where the skimmer is going to be going here in a little bit. You can kind of see I got the area kind of cut out, but that'll make more sense as time goes by. But what I'm doing right now is I'm smoothing out this area right here in front of the glass. Just literally just bringing some dirt up, putting it out there, packing it down with my hands, gonna make for a nice smooth transition. I'm just gonna clean this whole area up right here in the bottom of the pond. Yeah, we're almost there. So let me just keep moving some dirt around, packing it down, picking up any loose rock that we don't want to get under the underlayment because I don't want nothing like that to hurt the liner. Other than that, we're almost there. Okay, for the most part, we are done now. So I went ahead and dug out the bottom of the pond just a tad deeper. So when I drop down inside, top of my head is right about here. So I'm 6'1", so we're pretty deep. So that's going to work out pretty good. You see, I went ahead and smoothed out this area here. I got a couple ledges, a couple areas there with some steps where the rocks are going to sit. Eventually one day, once the underlayment and the liner go in position, you can see that this has all been worked into position so that when the liner kind of comes around, there's definitely a smooth transition right here. It's not getting pinched up by the cement blocks. This whole area down here is completely finished. And you can see I've got a couple more little steps right here. Good spots to put some rocks. And now the liner has a nice smooth transition over here. So now what I'm working on is the skimmer box because obviously once I pull the liner back and start prepping for the glue, I won't be able to get back to this area. So I broke out the 6-foot level. And what we need to do is find out exactly where the final elevation of the water is going to be, which I got to believe is going to be somewhere right around here. So that being said, there's the line on the skimmer box. So I need to drop this down a little bit right here and then level this out because obviously we want this level where the water enters the skimmer box. So let me work on that. And then I'll probably fill in around the bottom of the skimmer box because obviously we don't want the liner to get sucked in back through here. So we need a nice smooth transition right through here with all the dirt, and then I can bring everything back. So let me start working on that. We're getting closer. Okay, so it's been about an hour, and I've got this area right here already packed in nice and tight. Kind of built it up a little higher so once the liner comes around, there's not a pinch point right here. Once again, cleaned up the 2 shelving areas right there for future rocks, but over here, the skimmer box is now in position. You can see I've got dirt packed in all the way around it, nice and tight. And went ahead and drilled the 2 holes in the back, the bulkheads. So there's going to be the main pipe right there that goes off to the filtration system, and then this one will be the emergency overflow. The dirt is all packed around, so at this point, it's time to bring the underlayment around and into position. Now granted, this area is going to get dug out later. That's going to be heading over to the filtration system, the main 2-inch pipe, and also the emergency overflow hose. So 2 hoses heading over to the filtration system. But now I can go ahead and pull the underlayment back into position and then start working the liner closer and closer to the window so we can go ahead and start landing that with the glue that finally showed up. Back order took about 4.5 weeks to get here. All right, let me move the items into position. Okay, the underlayment is in position. A little screwing around to get it all shaped out. With that being said, let me go ahead and start working the liner now to where it's got to go. All right, so I pretty much have the liner in position. I believe I had it where I want it. I've been kind of working this thing around left, right, tucking stuff. But I'm to the point now where I'm forced to cut off this section right here. It's kind of a scary moment. There's no backing out once I do that. So there's the glue. I got the scissors, and it's time to start giving the liner a little bit more of a haircut. All right, here we go with the CT1. Got the whole area cleaned, cut. I went ahead and used the rubbing alcohol on the liner, and we'll go ahead and put down the first couple beads. We're going to lock it down to the angle iron just for tonight. I got to believe I'm going to be doing this in sections. Kind of let it sit up for a day or two, and then kind of work it into the side walls. Kind of lock that in a little bit, and then we're going to be heading for the glass. So this is definitely not a one-time shot. This would be probably glued over a couple of days. So here we go with the first round. All right, guys, so I'm just slowly working my way up the angle iron and the glass. So what I would do is I would just put one bead, glue it, let it sit for 24 hours, put another bead, glue it, another bead, glue it. So I'm making multiple tracks all the way down the angle iron, and now I'm working my way up the glass. So just kind of making for some extra insurance so that the water cannot break through. Just did this corner right now. I've got a little pressure on it with 2 2x4s, and this is working its way back to the rocks. So we'll just let this set up for 24 hours more, and then come back and hit it again. I'm coming up right now in this corner right there. Probably working my way up about a foot. We're up in this area right here. So that's about the best way I can think about doing this, is just do it in sections. Take your time and just work it in. All right, so we're getting it. The bottom's all locked in. I'm using 2x4s to kind of pinch the liner up against the angle iron and the glass. And now I just did the left side. You can see there's a 2x4 right here. Pretty sunny today, so this stuff's gluing and locking in a lot faster than before. So 24 hours, I mean, it's rock solid. So little by little, we're just doing little sections at a time, and then just kind of moving our way closer and closer to the final product. So the right side is locked in. You can kind of see that right here. Now we just got to do this part right here from the corner to the glass right there to the back side, so you don't see the liner when you're looking through the other side. So we're almost there. All right, so just to give you a little bit closer view of what I'm doing, you'll see that I've got 4 lines of this silicone going all the way up, and then it tapers to the upper left corner. So now what I'll do is I will pull the liner over and then just kind of smush all that together. So in my eyes, by creating these 4 separate channels, that's, I guess, 4 lines of defense or insurance for that water to try to break through. And even if it were, it would have to get through probably 5 more, which are on this back side. All right, so with that being said, let me go ahead and push this over and smooth it out. guys, it's been a couple of days, and I'm happy to say that the liner is finally in position. It's all dried up and ready to go, but I'm probably going to tap the brakes right there. The weather's changing. As you can see, the leaves are falling. Summer is over. Fall is 90% over, and we just got our first kiss of winter about a week ago, and everything here was all under snow. So I don't think I'm going to fill it up with water this year. I think I'm just going to hold back and wait till spring of next year. But hey, it is what it is. So we're going to pretty much stop on the pond for 2022, and we'll pick up in spring of next year. I don't think it's worth putting water in it and trying to deal with, you know, the ice putting pressure on the glass. I just don't want to deal with that right now. So I think we're going to probably move on to other projects. You know, I am kind of surprised, to be honest with you, that I got this far. I didn't expect to get this far. So I think we got one heck of a good start for spring of next year. So we're going to wrap it up with the pond project and move on to bigger and better things indoors, which you guys know we've got that 12-foot long, 540-gallon aquarium that we don't want to get rolling on, the new 720, which is already in position, and the 900-gallon saltwater tank, which is up on the main level, and it's ready for water actually probably within a week. So a lot of indoor projects coming up for the winter. So with that being said, we're going to wrap this up. I appreciate you guys watching, subscribing, following along, and hey, we'll see you on the next video. Until then, we're out of here.